They were dedicated to helping people, whatever prisoners or former prisoners had done in the past. Jack Merritt was 25 and Saskia Jones just 23. Murdered in London by Usman Khan, who'd only been out of prison for 11 months after serving just half his sentence for a bomb plot. Khan grew up in Stoke-on-Trent. He had an unremarkable childhood, but by his teens he was known to the police. And many here, like elsewhere, are asking how Khan could spend so long behind bars and still come out and kill.
Clearly, in the case of this individual, the rehabilitation system has failed because, having spent 7 years in prison, he has gone out and committed the murder of 2 innocent people. So the system does need looking at.
Usman Khan was released from prison in December and he'd taken part in a rehabilitation programme, but he was still deemed a risk. He was restricted in who he could meet and where he could go. And he had to wear an electronic tag so the authorities knew where he was. Khan had been helped by Cambridge University's Learning Together rehabilitation programme for months before he was given permission to travel alone to London last Friday. He'd even written a poem expressing his gratitude to staff. It's unclear whether he'd been deceiving them all along, whether his violent ideology had at any point wavered. The attack has led to an urgent debate about those in prison who've been convicted of terror offences and those who've already been released. All are offered what the government calls a desistance and disengagement programme, which aims to rehabilitate people who've been involved in terror-related activity and reduce the risk they pose to the UK. Usman Khan had been on the course.
He was in prison for over 70,000 hours. He will have spent possibly a few dozen hours engaged in any form of de-radicalisation programme. And just using common sense, never mind expertise, but just using common sense, how can a few hours of untested de-radicalisation programmes be expected to do anything when everything you're doing day to day is tell him you're a terrorist?
Of course, some warn that it may be impossible to ever change the mindset of those who support the kind of ideology practised by Usman Khan. Others say cuts to services are making it even more difficult to try. There are many unanswered questions as to how 2 innocent people with so much to offer lost their lives. Emma Hayward, Al Jazeera, Stoke-on-Trent.